And we're live now for day number 3 of the TI-10 group stage. I'm God, joining me is BSJ, and BSJ, day 3. This is where things really start to separate.
Yeah,
between the
and
teams.
it really has to start to separate for TP. They've got 0 wins so far, and if they don't start to get some, they're going to be out. So
they have separated themselves just in the wrong way.
Yes, separate themselves from their current selves to join back with the others is what they must do today.
Yeah, they need to rejoin. For the other teams, there's a bit of a pack forming kind of in the middle. There's 1 or 2 teams up top, your IGs, your LGDs, your VG Gamings. The 3 Chinese teams looking really good right now. VP were looking good on day 1, but since then they lost 2 series.
They lost. Oh yeah, they went 0-4 yesterday. So,
oh wow,
yeah, they're back. They're back to 5-5, which that's not reliably getting you into top 4 at all. So this series matters a lot to both these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Thunder Predator, you're probably not looking at upper bracket at all, but it is all about not getting eliminated in the group stage.
Yeah.
Huge prize pool difference between bottom 2 and bottom 6.
Yeah, it's, I believe, 80K. Or, no, it's 100K if you get 17th and 18th.
Yeah.
And it's 600K if you get 16th.
That sounds right.
So if you just make it through the group stage, you're 6xing your earnings from TI.
After that, it goes up a bit slower, more incremental. So it goes up like 200K each time. But yeah, the bottom 2, I mean, it's still good money. I mean,
it's all relative.
Exactly.
You're like, God, all we have to do is not be last.
And as we saw, Thunder Predator throughout the year as a whole, when they started the season, or a team, after that Singapore major, if you said this team would be at TI getting eliminated in groups, you'd be like, no, that shouldn't be happening. They got top 4 at a major.
The only thing is that they didn't even make it to the second major, and I think they somewhat did what Secret did, where, okay, we had a good placement at the first major, we're likely going to make it to TI anyways, and maybe they just weren't ready for that. You know, maybe they got a little too complacent. Not sure. I mean, what I'm saying is there has to be a reason why players like this are 0-8. Like, they're better than 0-8.
Yeah.
So if it's not individual skill, it has to be some mental game going on there. But IO Storm, a lot of global presence coming out from Thunder Predator, and surprised they went for the AA on Virtus.pro. Yes, it's very nice against IO. Probably deny picks like the gyros, all the satanic builders that go with IO, but I think Weaver still being in the pool has to be a strong consideration. We've seen IO Weaver be a nice pairing, and Weaver's one of the few heroes that can heal through AA's ult with time lapse.
All great points. I was listening, but I was also distracted by the fact that I messed up. I'm going to need our producer's help. Can we go on camera? I accidentally have something open in the background here, guys. You may be hearing some Dota sounds. But yes, we will get that fixed. I don't want to ruin the magic of broadcast because,
Yeah, what is happening? Is that I hear Invoker's alacrity and stuff.
So to break the third wall, I accidentally left the stream open. So instead of tabbing out and then taking the drop, basically to avoid me getting fired, we're going to bring ourselves back on camera. This is
you don't want to see his browser history, people.
Exactly. You don't want to see what I have there. But, yep, okay, we're good now. Back into the game. Thank you very much to our producer.
Hey, you got to do that first game of the day because that's when the least amount of viewers are here so far. So
yes,
and you guys understand. The people that are here, they're the dedicated viewers. They understand.
And to be honest, particularly for this round, the least amount of viewers because EG versus OG is on.
True.
But at the same time, I'm sure we got.
But you should stick around on this stream.
We shouldn't tell people what's going on in the other streams. That was our first mistake.
Yeah, you're not a very good marketing.
I mean, there's a lot at stake here. I mean, for all these series, that's, I think, the beauty of day 3 is that no one is fully kind of locked their fate in. Even the top teams are 9-1, theoretically 0-6, 9 and they result 9-7. It could be borderline, but
no, that's the best part about the group stage is no matter where people fall in the rankings, there's very few teams that are stuck somewhere. You know, they're either guaranteed upper bracket or guaranteed lower bracket. So every team has to make every game count. And I cannot believe Thunder Predator just picked Luna into Necro AA. That sounds like a yikes to me. I'm not trying to be too harsh of a critic here.
Okay.
But
why is that? Yeah.
Because AA Necro says once you drop to half HP, you're going to die, right? Also, you're not going to be able to get your health back. So heroes that would be bad against that, from my perspective, are heroes that stand their ground, push Satanic, and fight you. And Luna's just that. Out of all of them, though, she can go the BKB Shard Daedalus build, where she's not as much in the middle of the fray. So maybe that's what they're aiming for. I have to imagine that's the build M&Z will aim for on Luna this game. And they have the Nyx, so they have a lot of burst and poke coming out from Thunder Predator. But this is textbook Virtus.pro with the Necrophos. They've picked it, I think, 3 or 4 times now. The hero that I was hoping to see more at TI, he just feels good in pubs. Like, there's patches where Necro, his job is to walk down lanes and push Death Pulse, and sometimes you feed while doing so, and sometimes you're like, I feel kind of strong. Yep. And this is one of those patches where it's the latter.
It seems like that's going to be DM's role in general for Virtus.pro, playing these just like annoying tanky heroes that we saw them on the green heroes, the Venomancer when we last cast them. Now the Necro. So, although they have also played the Necro mid, but this time around it will be Queen of Pain mid, I imagine. So,
I don't think Necro mid is like particularly amazing versus Storm Spirit.
Yep.
You usually like them against melee heroes because you can always hit them with the Death Pulse, and generally the melee heroes are like strength heroes with higher HP pools, and the Heartstopper Aura is great against that.
Yep. Well, we'll see where these two teams look to round off their drafts. Thunder Predator, you mentioned obviously 0-8, they need to start getting some wins. What hasn't been working for this team, do you feel? Draft-wise, play-wise, where
I really think it is play-wise. I think they're underestimating the importance of just grouping as 4 or 5 this patch. Like, we were watching Vici Gaming, and we are like, man, this isn't the most exciting Dota, but they're just running around as 4 or 5. And I don't feel like Thunder Predator has fully bought into that yet. And you look at their lineup right now, and that kind of speaks to the same story, where this isn't a lineup that's ever going to group up as 5. You have a lot of individual plays that, like, heroes that combine, right? Two-man pick-off squads with the IO Luna relocating in. And to me, that just isn't Dota right now. So maybe it's like their vision of the patch is a bit off. Something has to be off, but I also think they've been a bit
10 seconds
careless with their positioning when farming. And they've had like 1 or 2 crucial deaths. Like I remember against Alliance, that's what kind of happened when we casted their series. The game was close, and then one of the core dies, and Alliance gets Roche, and suddenly the game's upside down for them.
Yeah, that game 1 was very winnable for them. So yeah, we'll see if they can bounce back. It is, a new day. Perhaps they've slept it off. Maybe Coach Fear has given them some tips and pointers, kind of trying to set them in the right direction. As Thunder Predator are a bit of a younger, more inexperienced team as far as some of the teams playing here at TI. Have any of their players played at TI before? Do you know?
I don't think so.
I was leaning that way, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Has Kataro played at TI before? M&Z is Kataro. It's just when they change their name, it gets confusing.
He's definitely played at majors.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about TI.
Yeah, I mean, there are 39 new players this year. So it's likely that 5 of them are on Thunder Predator, maybe 4.
10 seconds.
Virtus.pro also, though. They're
all 5.
All 5.
Yeah.
All 5 never played TI.
Yep.
So they go for the Doom. Let's see. We're against Doom Nyx offlane. There's a lot of carries that sound kind of good here for Nightfall, last pick.
10 seconds.
PL Inspector get banned out, so Thunder Predator decide those were some which would have been particularly good, and also just heroes that Luna doesn't want to play against.
Yeah, it's just thinking melee punishers. You have AA. You could do Wraith King, like just
Dawnbreaker.
Nah, not against Nyx. I think that's actually why Thunder Predator picked Nyx. It's good against Necro, but it's also a deny pick because you just carapace the ulti.
Yep.
It cancels it from anywhere. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Wraith King for them. I think it's a mediocre hero, but it's like a really good game for it. Nyx Doom can't clear the skeletons. Whenever you pick AA, you generally want to stun in lane. I'd even be down for like CK. I think CK could be kind of cool here.
As soon as you were saying stuns, the other hero I was about to say was Sven, because we've seen a lot more Sven than Wraith King.
Yeah, he's the more meta hero. I don't love Sven against Doom in general, but they have so many Doom targets that you don't mind picking a hero that doesn't want to get doomed, you know?
And with how we've seen some of the games play out, Sven's just looked, I think, like you say, the more meta pick, the fact he's can farm those stacks and just come online a bit faster than the Wraith King maybe. Feels like the build up to the Radiance is just a little slow.
Yeah. I'm like really skeptical right now because I see the Luna against the AA Necro. That just doesn't sound easy to play. And then I also see Doom. When I was back when I was playing only offlane, the Doom against AA feels real bad. Your job in the mid game is to like run around with a BKB. You know, you're running in fights with a BKB, and if they manage to just land an Ice Blast on you, you can't stick onto your targets with Scorched Earth and remain in the middle of the fight. Like Doom's all about I pop BKB and I'm invincible.
Yeah.
For the mid game, and that's what makes the hero super powerful. And they've got the Queen of Pain ulti that goes through BKB. They've got the AA Blast. So I don't think it's like an easy game for a 9th pick Doom. And it doesn't particularly lane amazingly well with Nyx. So I'm skeptical again for Thunder Predator. I'm not sure what I see they're going for this play off or pick off, play the map separately, relocate in style, but I don't think Virtus.pro is going to give that to them. They run at US5 all the time. I think they're going to play a really low cooldown Dota and constantly be grouped up, and I don't know what Thunder Predator can necessarily do about that.
All right, well, we'll see how that kind of pans out for VP. Something you're mentioning is like, yeah, the BKB time with Dooms, I feel like that's where the Sven also gets a whole lot stronger is he packs a punch against BKBs. He doesn't care about your BKB as much.
Yeah. And it's also the constant fear that even though you have a BKB, if you get Sven stunned, you're just going to probably die because the AA follow-up is terrifying.
All right, well, we're going to hop ourselves in game 1 of this 2-game series between Thunder Predator and Virtus.pro. A very important series for both teams. I feel like we're going to be seeing that a lot today, but every game for Thunder Predator is important to start just getting some wins to avoid elimination. Virtus.pro, 5-5, they need to get up a bracket. They need to start 2-0ing some series and not just get draws. So we'll see which way this game 1 is going to go. One of the heroes I'm curious a little bit about, we've got MJZ playing Io. Io, one of the top 5 most picked heroes, I want to say. Whoa. Luna, hold that. Yeah, he gets
Ravage!
They're still going to get the... He just walked up alone. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've done that before, and you're just like, there's no way there's 5 heroes there. And then there are 5 heroes there.
I feel like I've seen
30 seconds to battle.
teams usually go up here with 5 and put a ward on the high ground because before going up, you're always going to this isn't a pub.
Yeah.
That seems like something you do in a pub maybe, and you're like, it's fine. But
pretty much all teams are, because of nighttime being so scary, because you can't see anything, they just kind of do buddy-buddy syndrome with everybody. Just huddle around the campfire. And that's why it's become more and more scary to walk up high grounds in the early game. Like you said, they go for this very methodical ward approach and paying the price there. Who got the first blood? It was DM. Okay. That's really nice for Necro, because his level 1 is probably his weakest part of his lane. Once he gets, I'd say level 3, he's a much stronger laner. A lot of people are just electing to skip Ghost Shroud. I was in the impression that general community thought that when they nerfed Ghost Shroud's level 1, that you see the self-restoration went from 75 to 45, that the hero got nerfed. But what they actually did was give him 30 damage on his Death Pulse, which for a hero who generally lacks damage, that's pretty big because it's a very spammable spell. And I think overall it's a pretty massive buff. And in lane, you just usually delay the point in your Ghost Shroud for that reason.
Okay. Well, we'll see how his lane fares. Before the first blood, I was going to ask about Io. It's been picked a ton, but it hasn't been that successful. Is this going to be a kind of tournament where you feel like Io is going to play a big part of the meta, or is it being overvalued a bit?
I think it is being overvalued. I don't necessarily know if the hero is worth first picking. That's the problem, right? Like, if it's an IO game where you're not dealing with AA plus Earth Spirit, like heroes that prevent the healing and then punish you for being grouped up together, then IO, I think, is incredibly powerful. But maybe it's just not quite good enough to be a first pick. Yeah. Definitely a good hero, though, even if the win rate does not reflect that.
Yeah, that bottom getting zoned away a bit by the level 1 Io Luna, going for the passive level 1, the Luna Blessing. But so far, lane looking okay for both sides, and both top and mid slightly VP favored. Top versus Storm, I mean, if you level up the dagger, I feel like this is always a matchup where Storm is going to struggle, I imagine.
Yeah, they picked the Queen of Pain against it intentionally. The thing about the mid lane right now is there's just so many bottle charges to have, and there's also just so many options that are not in the lane itself that I think the co-op matchup, while still being very good, is not as crippling for the Storm to have to deal with all the time.
Yeah. We'll see if any of these supports make those moves to deny bounty runes, water runes, power runes and stuff, especially the power runes at 6 minutes. It's very common to see those support rotations. For now, both supports seem to be tied to these side lanes. Definitely 2 4s that are known for their roaming potential. Nyx and Earth Spirit, do you see them making those early moves, or are they just looking to secure their off lanes?
It's all about the runes, for sure. Early moves being 6 minutes, like you said, the power runes. I think that's all it's going to come down to, because I don't think any kills will happen at the rune, but whoever gets the rune will probably turn it into kills.
Okay.
Co-op and Storm, 2 of the best rune users.
Yeah. Top lane, Moo's going to be off the mark with the Impale. Frank is still trying to run in on Kingslayer, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. Needs to back off a little bit here.
There's not much regen left on the Predator.
The Colby with the Stormbolt gets Carapace, and Nightfall does not want to follow it up.
Thanks be with you.
He's got the salve, so Nightfall sitting pretty. He doesn't need to worry too much about his sustain right now.
Yeah, that's the difference, is Thunder Predator doesn't have any salves. He does have tranquils on moves, though. But Frank will have to be a bit more cautious because he doesn't have the salve. I think about even in most lanes, except for mid. But that it's about even if you can add up the mid and this bottom lane, right? Between the 2 teams.
Perhaps the first blood gold is maybe what's kind of giving BP like the slightest of gold leads, but nothing to write home about. See those first moves maybe coming soon-ish as Moose just perhaps going for a stack here, may look to contest these water runes. I feel like if you deny a water rune from a mid laner, that can be really crippling. Both of them on 0 bottle charges.
Yeah, co-op kind of forces this. Like, both the heroes just kind of screw each other over with having to fight each other a lot.
Co-op thought about contesting the Storm, but there was a Nyx Assassin there. And similar story, Earth Spirit. So both 4s do... They're not just securing the power runes, they're securing these water runes.
As you said, if one of them got denied the rune, it would probably be a huge momentum shift and reflected in their movements there. Actually maxing out the dagger, not just leaving it at 2 points.
Okay.
3 points in the dagger.
Let's see how that plays out as things go on. It'll be less farming and wave clearing capabilities from the Scream, but a lot of kill threat.
You just sustain so much from it now.
Yeah.
They gave it the heal per tick. So 30 heal per tick. That's 150 health every time he daggers.
Yeah.
Pretty nutty.
That for a laning stage where often you're relying on bottle charges and bringing in Tengo Salves and whatnot. Top lane, Stormbolt just being used to help cover the retreat here is Kingslayer. Ooh, could have been in trouble there, but did latch the cold feet onto the Doom. Moose does have another impale in a couple of seconds, but really go for it. Thinks about it, doesn't commit anything. So neither team finding any additional kills. There was a first blood before the lane started, but there's been no kills in the lanes themselves.
Both carries are very happy with their lanes, though. Both offlaners are only about half the CS. Like the carries they're laning against. I'd say I'd rather be a Doom in that case, because of the Devour. DM getting bullied a bit. Bottom lane. That skipping the Ghost Shroud, people are aware that they're doing that now, so you can be a lot more aggressive like that. Knowing he doesn't have the ability to stop the right clicks from coming out. Is he going to start jungling is the question. Oh, he dragged up some creeps. That's nice of you, Save.
Okay,
Good guy here.
Not recognizing, he doesn't have much of the lane to play now. One of the perhaps reasons they wanted the Luna is like, it's hard to play into AA Necro, but Necro, you've got heavy magic damage against the Necro. So it's always one of the useful things to have as 6-man rune going to come out. It's going to be a double damage top. So the first power rune of the game going the way of the Storm. It's going to be a DD. He is level 6, so some potential for a rotation, but for now he's sticking around the mid lane.
Yeah, GPK is elected to skip his ultimate, so he's recognizing that since he didn't get the rune, he's just chilling. Play the farm game. Moves with the deep ward. That'll probably scout out the Ancients at some point, or like when Sven does rotate to the Ancients, so we'll have to keep an eye out if they turn that into a kill on Nightfall later on in the game.
GPK or Virtus.pro as a team recognized he was there, though. They scanned him, so They may have an idea of where he was and perhaps even an idea of where he warded, but...
Yeah, that'll almost certainly get de-warded if they knew he went there. What else is he
now,
doing, right?
Moose making that first move. It comes down bottom. He doesn't hit the Impale.
He elected to take Ghost Shroud at level 5. You can tell the lane's not that great for him just by that, because it doesn't help you farm at all.
Helped it there, thinking that Impale might land and he might need the protection. But it's up okay, so both teams continuing this kind of... I mean, it's passive in the sense there's been no kills, but both teams are at least looking to play aggressive in these lanes and zone out the enemy offlaners particularly.
Now that Doom's almost level 6, Nightfall's happy to just dip out. Got the Mask of Madness queued up. It's really going to come down to, I think the first death from a carry this game will heavily decide the outcome. Because both these carries just accelerate so fast with their first 1 or 2 items. And yet they're both quite susceptible to ganks. You have the Queen of Pain plus Earth Spirit, Necro ulti, and then you have the Storm Spirit Doom.
Mid lane, they're going on GPK, the Vortex into the Impale. Queen of Pain going to blink out and Storm, doesn't have the mana to chase.
I like his build. Skipping the boots on GPK because you know, like, your positioning, there's nothing you can do to prevent what just happened there.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to be tanky enough with the raindrops plus full wand in order to not get bursted.
Going into the enemy jungle here, they're looking for the Sven, but Nightfall's already kind of cleared out that part of the jungle with his ultimate and is making his way towards his triangle. So his farming rotations have been very effective to avoid that kind of Thunder Predator aggression that you mentioned can be so costly if he does go down.
Yeah, the issue with the Sven compared to the Wraith King in the draft is just this, right? You have to dip out of top lane, which means that the Doom will have absolute free farm here. So even though the hero is technically better in the meta, this is the part in the game where you're losing out a bit.
DM pops the Ghost Shroud 1, but into an Eclipse. He takes a lot of magic damage, and one more Lucent Beam should finish him off here. Has another Death Pulse. He's trying to ring around a Rosie, and he will survive.
He's scared of the next side.
Oh, he's scared of also the Co-op. The Co-op's rotating down bottom. Elsewhere, the Sven is being chased by a Hasted Storm. I think Queen of Pain seeing this is like, uh-oh, I gotta go help my buddy out. Dodges the Stormbolt. Nicely played by Leo Style.
Yeah,
he's out of mana, and his haste is about to wear off, but doesn't look like Save is going to be able to go for any kind of aggressive play.
Yeah, I really like these moves because Frank is just living it up in the top lane.
Yeah. Oh, he zoomed the AA, but doesn't look like he'll get the kill.
Nobody saw that. Go back, go somewhere else. I was saying he was living it up in the top lane. As he is just free farming and will most likely go for that Midas on the off lane Doom.
Yep.
Just more space on the map to farm, and they also have the Devour factor, so I think that's what's leading to Thunder Predator eking out this lead. The difference is Luna's still allowed to occupy her safe lane, while Sven is not, which means they're farming 3 lanes.
Yeah. And the Luna playing the safe lane means Necros continues to kind of get bullied a bit. The big net worth difference is really the Necro to the Doom, where there's a 1k gold difference.
Yeah.
The 2 carries, the 2 mids are pretty much identical.
I think it's a pretty big deal he wasted Doom, though, on Kingslayer there, because now Sven, if he wants to or doesn't feel like he has anywhere else to go, could move his farming patterns towards the top lane. But Leo Style bullying him away anyway, so pretty smart by Leo Style. I like this invasive playstyle by him a lot. When you have the greedy offlaner in the Doom, and then you have the Luna that's going to be farming up your own jungle.
It's cool. He's doing it completely blind too. He doesn't have a ward there. He's just like, Sven's jungling somewhere, I'm just going to zip in, and even if he's not here, I can maybe steal a camp away from him.
Yeah, until the Co-op Orchid, he's pretty much invincible.
This is a very different VP. I feel like the VP that we traditionally expect is like early game aggression, crush the lanes, snowball. They're playing a much slower paced game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm going to say I don't like this Sven pick the way this early game is playing out. They have given up so much control of the map. I hate to see how passive VP feels like they have to play.
Storm showing up. This should be a dead DM, Leo Style. I'm loving how he's playing. You kind of mentioned when he's invading the Sven's jungle, even though he didn't achieve anything, he's being hyperactive.
Leo Style is straight up owning this game. He's my MVP so far in the way he's playing the game. He's being so disruptive, and you're seeing it in the net worths of everyone that isn't Sven, really. Because Sven is now taking all the areas of the map that he doesn't want to have to take because it's the passive part. Like, you're happy to take it as a carry, but if you're taking the passive farm that early, it usually is reflected in the rest of your team kind of having to fight for the scraps that are left over. But GPK, once he gets this Orchid, Leo Styles playstyle will definitely have to take a chill pill there. So hopefully he's keeping an eye out on GPK's timing. Because Leo Style, he went for full treads while GPK skipped boots entirely. So the Orchid timing from GPK will be much earlier, despite their net worths being comparable.
One of the parts of his game has been these power runes. He's had multiple DDs, now gets an illusion rune. Leo Style utilizing these runes to play so active on the map. And one of the big winners of his aggression has been Frank. Top net worth of the Doom. Not a huge surprise when you factor in Devour Gold, but the fact he can play so greedy is so much because of Leo Style Storm. Here comes a smoke move. They scan this out. They see it coming. Heads up play from Thunder Predator. I don't think they had a ward or anything to see that smoke. And Ice Blast is going to get thrown out hit nothing as well. So really good moves from Thunder Predator.
Yeah, they revealed themselves on an illusion. That almost tells me they're rattled, because if you're like really in a good state of mind, you see the illusion and you're like, okay, did I break? You know, did my smoke break? And it didn't. And then you don't use spells on it, but they actually right-clicked it and revealed. And it's not like they know they got scanned, so they probably thought their smoke still had a chance to work. Big stack for MNZ here. Skipping the Mask of Madness, which I like a lot. You don't want to go Satanic if you don't have to, because of the AA, and the Necro doesn't really let you heal back up before you get Scythed. So he just wants to be as tanky as possible when he's full health, rather than trying to stay full health, because he's also got the IO.
Both mid lanes approaching their Orchid timings. GPK is going to get his ahead of the Storm, so you mentioned this can be dangerous with Leo Style, who's a bit behind on net worth because he's been more active.
It's totally worth it, though. Like, your lineup is so greedy. I think this is a sign of a player who's... I know that sounds so cliche, like he's ready to win, but like he's thinking about like the team. Yeah. If you look at his two cores, it's like they've got enough greed for the three of us. I'm gonna play to be disruptive, and I think it's a really cool awareness that you would never expect out of like a pub teammate or not professional player.
Storm is baiting.
Oh, Arcane Rune!
It's caught blinked into a Doom. They were smoked up. The Moose went for the Impale, which didn't land, but Frank was there. He blinked in for the Arcane Rune. He grabbed it, but that was such a cool bait. They knew 14-minute power runes were coming, and Leo Style went to the power rune that was like in the more dangerous part of the map because he had the Nyx Invis and the Doom smoke.
That was really clever. I like that. I call it a clever smoking.
Yep. Smoking around I mean, we always talk smoke for objectives, but yeah, just the power rune, knowing that Quap has... I mean, they probably at least assume Quap is about to hit Orchid, that she's going to want to fight over runes.
Yeah, there was a lot of depth to that smoke and why it worked, and that's what it looked so stupid from GPK when he blinked in right there. But they just read him like a book, right? He's like, you're like you said, he's got the Orchid. He's gonna look for the runes so that he can be aggressive with the Orchid. Let's just shut that timing down before it even starts.
I mean, he only saw one hero there. Maybe the Nyx Impale came like roughly. He dodged the Nyx Impale, I think, because he blinked on the rune. But
here they are, smoked up.
Yep. Top lane, roll in. Luna gets caught by the Orchid. They're going to throw out the Ice Blast. I don't think, it's not going to hit the Luna. May have clipped, no, didn't even clip the Io, so Luna gets kept alive. They turn around, they kill the Earth Spirit. They may go looking for more here. Kingslay's going to be a little bit careful. He's offering his body perhaps as protection for GPK, and it doesn't look like any kind of chase is going to come from Thunder Predator. You see at the top, the Thunder Predator fans, they're cheering. They're feeling good. They're up 3K gold, 4 kills to 1. We're worried whether or not Thunder Predator would, start getting some wins. They started so poorly in day 1 and 2, but they're taking it to one of the, scarier teams at this tournament.
Yeah, I'm down. They got some life. Like, they're playing some good Dota. I feel like VP didn't come to play today.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I feel like Thunder Predator is just above, like playing at a better level. I don't even know what to say about that.
Clips coming out. Kingslayer should die to this one. The Luna finishes off the kill. Nyx did end up going down. Died to the GPK damage.
Small price to pay when MNZ gets to net himself a kill and then more creeps afterwards, assuming he's not going to die here.
Yeah, that's the big if here. There's no Ice Blast to worry about, so Io should still be able to get some heals in. They've got a mech. I don't think the Luna's in any risk of dying here. He's holding onto the mech, now pops it, so gets the Luna back to full health. They weren't even close to that.
Yeah, how did they ever expect that to work?
Yeah.
VP seems really rattled with the plays they're going for.
It was 2 heroes trying to kill a tethered Luna who has a mech. Well, not the Luna, but the Io.
Yeah, and a wand. Like, he has pretty high wand charges, too.
Yeah.
Huh. Once that Holy Locket comes out, if that AA ulti misses, I don't think they can ever kill him.
Yeah, I mean, that play, obviously, what they did there makes sense if there's an Ice Blast flying in, but A was dead, so.
The problem is they don't really have a dangler this game for VP. They have all of this counter initiation, and they also have heroes that can connect in the Queen of Pain and the Earth Spirit. But you have to have somebody that's like showing themselves, somebody that's pushing the lane and not just dying, in order to make all of this work. And I'm really gonna harp on that Sven pick the way this game's played out, because if you had picked the Wraith King or something of the tankiness nature, you would have the guy that sets up the rotations for you. And I think because they don't have the person that can show on creep waves, it just looks like everything is so forced. And now he just blink orchided a BKB Doom?
Well, yeah, exactly. He just turned to Doom the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain getting low is probably going to be a kill here. Pop's just going to die to this Doom. That's a solo kill.
What was
1
the
versus
plan?
3, and now the Storm Leo style shows up. They're going to bring down the Earth Spirit here. Kingslayer, Nightfall's popped the ultimate. He's trying to go in, but he doesn't have any kind of initiation.
He's 75 gold off of BKB. Go farm your BKB. What are they doing? This is, oh man, you can just tell Thunder Predators got their number.
Yeah.
Like they are forcing so many errors from VP. These are like textbook things that players of this caliber are not going to do if you're not forcing them to be uncomfortable.
I mean, we're watching, like, when they go in the Luna, we're like, we can tell this Luna's not going to die. VP's 10 times better at Dota than I am, and, you know, probably twice as good as you, so.
I'll take 1.5. No, I'm just yeah, it's a, you know, MMR.
1.75.
Yeah, 1.75, okay. Yeah, I mean, Thunder Predator, like, that's a BKB Doom, and GPK just blink orchided him. Like, what did you expect when you blink orchided a BKB Doom? He's just going to BKB and Doom you. Like, that... Man, very, very out of character for these players. I don't really know if this gets better, because like they have the Sven BKB. But man, what's DM working on? What's he cooking up? He's going Lotus Orb. That's a nice item against the Doom, but it's not like a... It doesn't just counter a lot of Thunder Predators lineup. It's not good against anybody else. Only other thing it removes is the Orchid, I guess, which is okay, but Storm can still do a lot of damage.
Things just getting worse and worse for VP. BKB going to be coming out on Luna. Doom's got enough money for a Blink Dagger or the Sange, so...
It's the Blink timing on Sven, I think, that will make a... That will be the first chance for them to really turn it.
Yeah, look for moves down bottom, but well, I don't think they were really looking. I think Earth Spirit was just trying to maybe force a reaction.
When you have AA, you don't want to have to buy a Spirit Vessel, too. But it feels pretty unreliable so far, and Save, he's queuing it up in order to prevent that healing from the IO. He's got the Philly.
I like this IO Luna just keep dragging the waves off. They're playing on the top side of this mid-tier 1 tower. They know where VP are in the map.
Yeah, they're just getting so much. Meanwhile, Theo Styles just free farming up the top lane, knowing that VP has to react to top or they're doing something. So the fact that DM's showing against Doom means that VP is almost certainly mid, and Thunder Predators should know this. They have BKB.
He thought they were roaching, but not the case. They go rolling in. They look for the Luna, but he pops a BKB. Doom folds it up. He gets the Doom out.
He doomed himself.
Okay, that's going to take him out of the fight here. But the Queen of Pain now in some trouble. Silence up with the Storm Zip, but there's not enough damage to bring down the hasted Queen of Pain. So they get the Nyx and they want more. MNZ, Mino's going to get bursted by GPK's Queen of Pain, and VP get themselves back in this game, perhaps. At least get a couple of big kills.
That's exactly what they have to do. I didn't think they'd be able to get that engagement before the blink on Sven. But the fact that Frank doomed himself means that him as like the frontliner, the meat shield, that you just saw the rest of Thunder Predator was forced to retreat. So that Lotus Orb timing from DM, I was skeptical because it was only good against the Doom, but he nailed it.
Yep.
He used the Lotus Orb on the proper target, predicting that Frank would doom the Sven.
Very nice. And then Queen of Pain, yeah, having that mobility, not just from Blink, but a haste rune, really allowed GPK to wreak havoc. He gets caught by an Orchid, but then he's like, all right, I'm just going to run away. Very well executed. Still Thunder Predator with a decent-sized lead, but definitely a reminder of just how good VP can be in a team fight.
Yeah, it gave Safe some Spirit Vessel charges, too. There were a lot of repercussions and potential benefits that VP will be getting from that in the future. Pound.
Roll in. They look for the... Oh, actually finds the IO. That's a better target for Safe to get. They're going to look to turn around. They'll use the Luna BKB, and that should finish off the Earth Spirit. So a BKB charge committed. Gets it down to 7 seconds. Elsewhere, looks like VP Trying to get moves here. He's got a Carapace. Do they commit for this kill? Moose gets caught by the Orchid, and that should be the death of him.
That's to put the ulti on cooldown for DM. Whenever I do that play, it means I get to go farm guys, because I don't have my ultimate. As you see him immediately TPing it. I understand you, buddy. I understand. He's going for a halberd, so he's just anti-carry. I mean, Necro is, in some capacity, an anti-carry type offlaner, but you don't have to itemize purely for that. But definitely in this case, it seems like the good plan when both Sven and Luna are top of the net worth charts for their respective teams.
Deep hunting for this Io Luna. The smoke rotation's coming.
No
Can this Luna
BKB.
get out? Yeah, BKB on cooldown for 15. They do have a T1 tower, but I think they're too far to TP to this one. The Ice Blast follow-up is gonna land, and Minos goes down. MJZ couldn't relocate him out. Great job from Save to initiate, even before they connected, but there is gonna be a kill elsewhere on the map. Leo Star with the Doom again. It got Lotus. He's doomed himself, and he's gonna die to the Sonic Wave, it looks like. The tip's coming out. VP get 4 kills in 3 different lanes.
He couldn't Midas a creep while he was dying because he was doomed. That's when you know. That's the killer blow right there. As I was praising Thunder Predator and critiquing VP, and suddenly they've just made the one move that led into another move, punishing the lack of BKB on the Luna there. This game's blown wide open. I'd much rather be VP here, because even though they're down by slightly 1K net worth lead, I don't think Luna can really show anymore. Like, you can't comfortably farm creep waves, because you'll just get stunned by Sven into A blast if VP's ever set up on you, which means that he's going to farm a lot less, which means that the Doom, who his #1 net worth is just doesn't feel as good when you're suddenly your carry doesn't feel comfortable. I don't know. I don't think the status quo is in favor of VP now on the map.
And so's the momentum. Like, that's 2 kind of good fights in a row. Yeah, that last fight was like 3 different mini skirmishes, but Thunder Predator have to be feeling a little bit down on themselves after the last couple of minutes. Both fights where Doom used his Doom into a Lotus Orb, and it so much has come down to these item times. The Lotus Orb coming up, the Sven with the Blink Dagger able to connect with the Earth Spirit top, so these item timings for VP, yeah, things look kind of passive and uninspired for the first 20 minutes, but they were just waiting to come online. And Leo Style gets
nice
caught by a
silence.
Yep. Earth Spirit. Save has been the man to get them back in this game, it feels like. Yeah, he's 0, 4, and 6, but he's set up so many of these kills.
Yeah, Leo Style was barely off BKB too. 400 gold, so that's the last time that silence play is going to work, but I don't know if they need it to work again with how long Leo Style's dead for.
They see him. They've got a ward in the lane here. Doom goes looking to initiate, but he gets caught by a stun before he can BKB. Nightfall deletes him with the quick blink initiation, and
getting out of hand so fast.
Luna in some trouble here. It's getting very much out of hand. They're going to buy back and look to force this fight. Minos pops his BKB, but he can't actually hit the Necro through the Ghost Shroud. He's going to be forced back, and I don't know if Thunder Predator still want to take this fight. They're buying back, so they're saying we do want to fight, but safe. Blinking on in. Meanwhile, on the backlines here, he's got the Doom out. It catches the Queen of Pain. DM, he Lotus himself. Frank, learning his lesson from the last few fights, is going to look to bring down the Quab. They want save as well. Queen of Pain's going to die to the tower as the ball lightning in. Storm catches just a support here, so they are turning it around and making these buybacks worthwhile.
Roshan?
Especially if they get Roshan.
Yeah, they have to now, because Storm buying back, he's crippling himself if he's not allowed to like play the next fight incredibly aggressive. Yeah. And I imagine they'll give it to Leo Style because he is Sonic Spirit, but there's a chance MNZ takes it as well.
Probably VP still feel okay-ish about this. Like 3 buybacks being forced. Yeah, they get Roshan. But they still feel the momentum's their way. They're like, yeah, we just won 3 fights in a row. They had to buy back on all these heroes to win that, or to turn it around and make it even.
I want to highlight that first play that VP did to get back in the game when they were down by 5K. The map was very much Dire playing bottom, Radiant playing top. Yep. And I'm realizing now the reason why they were able to catch Thunder Predator off guard is because Thunder Predator, you were saying they were defensively playing the mid lane to like protect their tower, but they knew VP was bottom, and VP did this reach around play where they wrapped all the way, like instead of coming from the bottom half of the map, they went through the river and back through top, and they ran straight into Thunder Predator. Okay. So I just think it's interesting that it seems so obvious to us because we see the smoke coming, and we know that Sven's got his Blink Dagger and all that timing's ready, but yeah, it's just one little thing like that, and suddenly the control for Thunder Predator is slipping away. But If they can get the Scotty up, it owns the Necro, and it also owns the Sven. So
Yeah.
that would be a pretty huge timing for them to get before the Aegis expires.
It's definitely been a part of the map where Thunder Predator up top have not expected VP to play, and that's why that smoke is so effective. Also to highlight some of the VP warding game, like getting this ward in the top lane, getting a ward by this tier 2 mid, like they've got some really clever, useful wards here that have not been found by second use.
Breaks in a little bit of no man's land bottom, but he's got the BKB. If he sees VP, he sees Sven mid as well. So he should be good. They ping him out.
Important info for VP, who...
That means that they can't be top, is what they're recognizing. Like, they're like, oh, this Doom is stuck bottom, so they might try to do like a sweep move through the top half of the map. But instead, they're looking to just cut top and mid, take the triangle away.
They're TPing back, 5-man smoke. Quick move from Thunder Predator. This could catch VP a little by surprise, although
how do they start?
Probably have to go quick. See if that gets answered soon. GPK in the front, pops his BKB instantly, gets the Orca Big, gets Yule Storm. Now the Doom comes out, it's going to catch out onto the Necrophos, so no Necro ultimate to worry about. Meanwhile, the Storm jumps the backline, gets the AA, the Luna still surviving through with the Aegis, and can just throw away his first life and then look to come back. The AA buys back. He's going to look to throw in a nice plus here. MNZ respawning, has the BKB. Going to look to continue to fight. The Doom did get brought down in the midst of things, but did his job taking out the Necro as Luna now without a BKB gets caught by Save. Save has just been on point, finding roll after roll, gets the Nyx as well. He is just having a field day, trying to high-five him as he goes through, and they're going to get themselves a triple kill on Nightfall Sven, who is just unanswered at this point with his completed Silver Edge. Storm, okay, has a vision on a regen rune. He's just going to look to maybe cut some waves here. Not sure where he's headed, but great fight for VP.
That was such a sick dust by Save, because Nightfall got carapace on his cleave, and then he just insta-dusted.
He should be okay, right? Sven has a blink.
He's got a Silver Edge.
His regen got cancelled. He's just dead.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, the mobility from VP at this point is insane, because they have Queen of Pain, but they also have the Blink, Silver Edge, Spider Legs for Nightfall, so he's going to be able to connect quite easily to all these kills, hunting down anyone who tries to be alone on the map. And that last fight where Thunder Predator bought back on 4 heroes, he didn't die on Nightfall, and he just had a full Silver Edge. And you're going to see once Luna comes back here with the Aegis that he's just going to go in with the Silver Edge and like 3-shot him.
Yep.
Here it is. Here it comes.
That almost has the halfway to a Satanic almost.
And this was a sick, look at this carapace, but insta-dust by Save. He knew exactly what just happened, processed it incredibly fast. Leads to another kill. Somehow just goes right through Nyx there. I don't know how that worked.
Yeah.
It actually worked out because the other kill was happening on the other side. But I don't understand that interaction.
Very good plays from the Earth Spirit, all those rolling boulders, and yeah, Sven Nightfall, he's just doing his job, carrying this game, and Save again. Finding all these heroes, he tries to kick the Doom up.
You can't keep him off the map, my friend, sorry.
Does ultimately pay the price and go down for it. Not quite the outcome he was hoping for.
Oh, that feels so bad. MNZ was going to go for the Scotty, but now he went for the Chrysalis and the Lincolns. Like, he's so scared of getting jumped by the Sven that he feels the need to go for a Lincolns. And I don't think you can go Lincolns, man. I think it's so easy. They'll just use Cold Feet on you, I think. And then then that's it. They could even use the Necro, the Shard that he has, the Death Seeker. Really strong Shard, underrated. It makes you, it's like a pseudo E-Blade, right? That can be used on your teammates as well.
Yep. We saw it in, I think, the fight top. We used it once on the Luna.
Dire are scanning.
He has no way to get rid of it other than BKB. He doesn't have a Manta or Satanic or anything. So that 2.5 seconds of ethereal form can be pretty detrimental for him.
Yeah, outside BKB, and you combine it with the halberd, it's like just all this pesky things that he can't really.
Yeah, none of that for Sven, right? Sven kind of just can just run rampant in fights as long as he doesn't get doomed. But even then, he has Satanic. If he already has his ult pop, he might be okay with it.
We see him. They've got the ward on the high ground. Save goes rolling in, and they're going to lose the eye, which means Luna could be in some trouble. May just have to consider a BKB TP out. Gets caught by the Save roll. Nightfall's going to follow up with the Sven there. You cannot TP out. MNZ believe he's just going to be chased down. Save
High five
is gone. Hey, high five. No high five for you. As elsewhere, they are going to get the jump and look to bring down DM's Necro, but at what cost? Leostyle trying to TP out the Sven damage with the Sonic Wave is too much. Team wipe. Virtus.pro have put an exclamation mark on this game and said, hey, we're sticking around. We're not giving Thunder Predator their first win. We've got quite the comeback in store.
This game is such a concerning game for Thunder Predator. I think based on the way the first like 15 minutes went, if you're gonna win games, you have to win this game.
Yeah.
And I'm just so nervous for them moving forward. This might be the nail in the coffin towards them going 0-16 in the group stage because it's just such a I feel like this is a demoralizing loss.
And even some of the individual stuff, like when after they lost that last fight, Storm balled across the map, grabbed a regen, and then died. Like kind of big individual misplay. It's not why they lost this game, but it's the kind of stuff where the team's just like, oh man, come on.
When you're in a pub and you're like really down on yourself, you make plays like that.
Yeah.
You know, like we've all been there, where you go from having all the momentum in the world, feeling like you're making all the right plays. I think Leostyle's play in the early to mid game was sick.
Yep.
And then suddenly the game's just seemingly impossible after one nice smoke gank from VP, and that just feels so off.
It's kind of like the play where you can tell they're tilted almost.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about these like internal expectations that you have as a player where you're like, how could I play so well for 20 minutes, get caught off guard one time, and suddenly the game's hard? That's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, Dota, man.
And like you say, we're not flaming it. He's been the standout player for Thunder Predator this game probably.
No, absolutely. This is not even remotely flame. This is like you can just tell the mentality of the players is decimated.
Yeah, I imagine if we had a player cam on them right now in the room, it would be a very quiet downstage.
Yeah, it'd be very quiet.
Probably no
that's
comms.
The worst.
Yeah.
It's actually the worst when you don't have anything to say. You don't want to be toxic because anything you do say won't help. And you're just like, okay, guys, like let's just wait high ground. Like,
yeah, it's like, do you talk about the next game?
Yeah, you just.
That's not helpful because it's like you don't want to give up.
Yeah, you feel like anything you do talk about is not gonna help the current game, so then you just don't talk, and then you could cut the tension with a knife. And
so you gotta channel your inner OG and just start spamming voice lines.
True.
That's I don't know, but yeah, there's no easy answer, especially for a team whose inexperience hasn't, really played at TI on that big stage.
I will admire VP though, because they were looking similar, like pretty shaky for the first 15 minutes. They were doing some weird things. We saw the co-op Orchid on the BKB Doom and just die, trying to go on the Luna that has the mech on the IO. We saw a few uncharacteristic plays from them, but they brought it back. And that's very difficult to do.
And it feels like one of those games where, from our perspective casting, we can see how well Thunder Predator is doing. It looks like they're in control. I imagine VP's going to walk away from this game and feel like they had the game from minute one.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to feel like they were ever really behind.
That did happen in DPC a lot. We'd interviewed DM at the end of the game, and our VP was a team where they were so dominant during the season that they were... Oh, Carapace.
Yeah, follow up with the Doom.
Sick.
That's the play. Okay, they weren't just sitting back saying nothing. They were formulating a plan. They were like, okay,
smoke it up.
This is our win condition. This is what we can do. We got to figure out a way to get one of these big kills. It's the Nyx Carapace, and maybe whether it's overconfidence or what, he bought a Swift Link, but Doom, he gets jumped on. He's going to get taken out with the Queen of Pain Hex, but Queen of Pain going to pay the price for this. They've now killed 2, and DM could be a 3rd. I don't think he's got an easy way out of this one. Has a Ghost Shroud, but surely they can chase him down here. MNZ has the Lucent Beam, moves. Anaphone looking for him, gets another Lucent Beam, but he's getting away. DM still alive for now with the Earth Spirit. Spirit Magnetize, he's doing a lot of damage. Luna gets kept alive. Nice save from MJZ. Chase is on, save. It's 2 supports. They can still chase into this one. Perhaps MNZ's getting so low.
My God.
He's going to die to the supports. Oh, the Magnetized damage just adding up with the Spirit Vessel as well. And this Earth Spirit is just rolling through him. He's out of boulders, unfortunately.
He's got one more.
Okay, he's got one. What can he find with this one? Aya's like, I need to get the hell away from this guy. He can't. Oh, save with a triple kill. It's the Earth Spirit. He's like, don't worry, Sven. Step aside. I got this one. And Storm's just like, I'm going to chill in the fountain. This save Earth Spirit's pretty damn scary.
This always makes me feel good whenever this is a great feeling in Dota when you die as the carry and your team just proceeds to carry you. That feels so good.
And always a terrible feeling for like Thunder Predator where they win a fight. They killed all 3 cores. I think it was what, 3 versus 2 or 4 versus 2?
Yeah, it was. It was AA versus our Spirit, or AA or Spirit versus 4. Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we got 4v2 and it's 2 supports. Like you 99 times out of 100, you're just diving for those support kills and everything goes fine.
The thing is that the way this game started, since VP was losing and then they came back by fighting, that means their supports are real rich. That's how that usually goes. They're also very high-leveled, and that's something that will often happen in these type of games. You're seeing, if you look at the net worth of the supports, that save is twice as high as anyone else in the support clan. So the fact that Luna doesn't want to go Satanic because he's against AA makes so much sense. I don't think I would even build it. But you saw there that because he doesn't have Satanic, he doesn't have the sustain that he would normally have, and Save was able to just kind of poke him down with the Spirit Vessel plus all of AA's just spamming spells from a distance, and he just they didn't even commit onto him. He just got killed from long range, which feels so bad. Almost to a sheep. Okay, he's working on it on Earth Spirit.
And they find a way in to contest this Roshan. They've scanned it out. They're coming. They're smoked up. Thunder Predator. Perhaps the last hurrah. I don't think they're going to get quite the initiation they did last time under the Sven. And Age is already claimed. I don't know if Thunder Predator want to take this fight any longer, but they may have to as Save comes rolling in once again. He's caught MNZ. He gets healed up by the mech here. Good job by the Eye. He's just going to relocate him out and probably just throw away his own life to save the Luna.
Imagine this is every man for themselves.
Yep. And they're hoping that this Storm Leo Star can get out. The Sonic Wave not going to be enough damage. As he balls all the way back to his base. And Nightfall.
Yeah, the
I was like, what happened there? Yep.
Okay, I think there was an Ags on the ground. Did they give it to somebody?
Was it Roach number 2, maybe? It was only Roach 2,
right?
It
was the shard. Okay, I was confused because I saw the little
chest
chest thing on the ground. Yeah.
Yep. So they got the Dispel. Lower cooldown is really nice. Dispel against anything particular?
Nah, I think it's just the cooldown this game. It could get the Nyx out of Yule Scepter, which would definitely kill him. So
we have to buy back the IO. One last fight, but it's not going to be easy, or at least VP are not going to make it easy for them. A small glimmer of hope came from that Sven kill earlier, but it didn't lead to a whole lot, unfortunately.
He's got the Swift Link, the Silver Edge. He's so mobile. The Spell Prism probably goes to Queen of Pain, maybe Necro. Who are they giving that to?
Got a Witch Bane coming out for Queen of Pain.
Got Mira laughing at the fate of Thunder Predator. So they do give the Spell Prism to Queen of Pain. He's got his level 25 talent, so he's got his built-in Lincolns, 18-second cooldown. That makes it even more difficult for Frank to do his job in the game.
Got the one in the high ground, Blink Hex. Queen of Pain gets some follow-up, and they're going to look to blow up Frank, which means no Doom to worry about for now. He does have buyback. It's like Io Luna, they're still sitting down bottom. They need to get back to probably defend this one, but GPK in trouble, gets doomed. He's the one who doesn't have an Aegis here.
Yeah, Lotus Orb was late.
Great initiation, and Nightfall could be next. He's out of mind. He's going to look to turn, pop the Satanic and heal, but he's being kited now. As Frank gets another roll, and his Sven goes blinking in. They get the Reaper's Sight. It's going to be enough damage. He couldn't save him in time. Io's out. He relocated to this fight, so he's going to now TP himself back home, and VP, they get this rack. They have 140 plus seconds with no Doom.
He could go read a book. He can come back. Finish the next chapter, and you'll be able to play the game again afterwards. Very rarely do you get to see that respawn timer, but it's a level 23 Doom that bought back and got Necro Scythe, so...
And that is Mega Creeps, and perhaps GG.
Yags! No. They don't have this Sven on their team. They can't wipe the...
Thunder Predator. They're defending valiantly. I honestly, the last few minutes of this game, I don't mind how it went. If anything, I think Thunder Predator's showing some resilience here. They're going down as a team, Brian. And they played an okay game, considering that they're playing against Virtus.pro. It's hard to say they look like, they're a bottom team here at TI based on this game at least. But, sometimes you're just playing against VP, and it's hard to close out these games.
That's just professional Dota, though. You accrue a lead over the long period of time, and one team fight can just completely turn the tides. And the fact is that even though they were controlling the map, Nightfall was farming. He was not dying. They weren't able to invade the Sven. They were kind of playing their own game, which means that, yes, they're up by 5K, but it's not because VP has no farm. It's because everyone on Thunder Predator is farmed. And then you die. So suddenly you've given all of that XP and farm that you've accrued over an advantage because the comeback mechanics in Dota, and then...
Yep. And you were skeptical about the Sven pick, but at the same time, you were also skeptical about Luna, because Luna was always going to struggle because you can't go for that Satanic this game easily.
Yeah, the Sven pick revealed the weaknesses of it in the first, like, 10-15 minutes, but then you realize why they would pick it over the Wraith King later on in the game, because he's, like, two-shotting people and Luna spending the entire fight running away.
Yep. Well, that does it for Game 1. Thunder Predator, unfortunately, do not get their first win, and VP, they go above 500. They are back in the winning books. They're looking to make a run for that upper bracket spot. We'll figure out if they can get the 2-0 here and continue that run, or if Thunder Predator get their first win. Stick around. Good day, everybody. We're back. VP versus Thunder Predator, game number 2. I had to do the look over to remind myself what teams, even though we just cast, I was like, VP.
It all blurs together at some point.
Yeah. We were just talking about all the other games going on. Feel free to check out the other streams. We've got EG versus OG. We've got Astra versus T1.
But on the other monitor,
And,
while they leave our stream open.
Oh, yeah.
On the main monitor.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe like a phone or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
As we got a really important game for both teams, because if Thunder Predator drops this game, going to 0-10, I don't know if there's anything coming back from that.
I mean, 6-10 sounds all right, but if you're going 0-10, are you really going 6-10?
I like your glass half full mentality. I appreciate that. And then Virtus.pro, we were just looking at the standings. They are in 5th right now, which is not good enough to get you to the upper bracket, and they're 5-5 going into the series, so they're now 6-5. And Undying, I believe, won their first game against Alliance, so that means they're 6-3, and they were in position 4. So pretty neck and neck in the middle of that bracket. And if you, sadly, I don't want to insult Thunder Predator, but if you're looking at making sure you secure top 4, and you look at the record of Thunder Predator, you're expected to go 2-0 against them. So, oh, the game's still going. Okay, so Undying is still playing against Alliance right now.
Yeah.
So not guaranteed to be 6-3 just yet.
Are they in game 1 or game 2?
Yeah, game 1.
Oh, game 1. Okay.
Long game. I see a big purple bubble, so I'll assume there's a faceless void.
Okay.
From a distance here.
Yep. We can hop into the draft. Give you guys a look at what's coming out in Virtus.pro Thunder Predator game number 2. As far as the stakes, and we can talk a bit about Group A. It feels like there are 2 teams I would say are on the road to upper bracket. IG, 9-1, almost without a doubt, going to be upper bracket.
Yeah.
And OG, because they won game 1 against EG. So they went from 7-3 to 8-3.
I mean, it was a stomp, guys, but if you want to check it out, we did get to see Sumail Juggernaut with Diffusal Manta at 16 minutes.
But so the 3rd and 4th slot feels like is kind of pretty open now. Like there is EG, but I think they were 5-3 at the start. So now they're
5-4. They're totally susceptible to getting overtaken.
Yep. So there's EG, there's Undying, there's Virtus.pro. They're probably like the top 3 contenders for that slot.
Yeah.
Virtus.pro's
try to think who else is it. Then there's Alliance, Astra. If they keep riding that momentum, day 1 obviously went terrible for them. They had to stand in. Theoretically could make a run. And then Thunder Predator, they're not
Astra
making it.
just lost to T1, so
they're
already kind of that's a big one because T1 was 8th in the group, I believe. Right?
Yes, they were in the group of 3 teams that had only 2 wins.
Yes.
It was like Quincy, Astor, and that's the other group. I'm thinking of Group B.
Yeah, trust me. When you're saying that, I'm like, I know there's 2 groups. I
know
how the standings
I don't know.
look.
I'm not sure.
I think T1 is the only group with 2 wins, or only team with 2 wins in that group, and they were in 8th. But we kind of thought out of all the teams in the bottom that T1 had the most potential.
Yeah, and I saw their games today. I think they versed some of the tougher opponents. They had opponents who are like on a similar level to them, not like the IGs and OGs, perhaps.
So they could easily climb their way back into 4th, 5th.
Yeah,
perhaps?
I mean today's the day if they play their best Dota, I could see them going 5-1 or something. I think they're playing Astor, they're playing Undying, and they're playing someone else who I think was very
beatable.
Yeah, I think maybe Alliance or something.
Okay.
So at the same time, it's not like T1's way better than those teams. They could just as easily go 1-5. So I think T1's a very
That's what I love about the group stage is because you start to see who's like you see a team like T1, right, and they're 2-6, and you see another team that's also 2-6, but then you have to look at how the teams they're playing against already, and then you have to be like, okay, how much does this 2-6 mean? How much does that 2-6 mean?
Yeah.
And VP starting 5-1, they looked really convincing, but it wasn't against some of the best teams in the group so far. And then they dropped 4 games yesterday, and we see here that they're back on the mend at least with that first win against Thunder Predator. Thunder Predator had a pretty convincing lead last game. They were up by I believe 5K.
Yeah.
19 to 20 minutes into the game, which is significant when you have like an IO Luna lineup against like a Sven. Those are both very farm heavy lineups. But last game we saw Thunder Predator first pick IO, and then we saw VP respond with the Ancient Apparition. And the odd thing is that when you have IO, and I mentioned in the draft that if you have IO and the enemy team picks AA, you generally don't want to pick the traditional stand your ground satanic carries, and they ended up going for the Luna. And I wasn't very, and I don't think, what that tells me is Thunder Predator hasn't had anybody pick AA against them. this patch because they kind of just stuck to what they knew rather than adjusting, I would say.
Thunder Predators.
I think you have to adjust pretty drastically to heroes like AA. You know, they are counter carries. And
So you're telling me Lycan does not stand his ground?
no, Lycan's great against AA, man, because your actual hero doesn't have to enter the fight. AA doesn't generally threaten you in lane unless it's Sven specifically, which they banned out. I really like the bans from Virtus.pro. I think Lycan will lane quite well against AA. AA likes to let his carry leave the lane and then defend his tower. Absolutely no way you're going to defend your tower against a Lycan. You're just going to get dove. And they go for, does that make IO a 4?
I think so, yeah. I mean, or dare we say Core IO. I was questioning whether OG were running some Core IO in Game 2. We didn't end up seeing that one, but it looks like IO playing plays. I mean, I think IO's been, at least coming in this tournament, I was hearing a lot about IO being played in the off lane as a 4 rather than a 5. But the one thing I was going to add, obviously, Lycan, great, very mobile, good against the AA. But he also makes his, if he's a 3, he also makes his carry good against the AA because of the Wolf Bite, the Ag Scepter. Yeah.
Yeah. I think VP's approach to this AA counter pick is more sound than Thunder Predators was last game. I feel like that Weaver was like somewhat of a deny pick from Thunder Predator because I had mentioned how IO Weaver would probably be really strong against AA, but I don't know if Weaver 4 outtrades Bane. You know, I think the reason why they picked Bane is like just the lane secure dominance. They've got the information. They're either going to see the enemy carry, so they'll get a good matchup there, or they're going to see the enemy offlaner from Thunder Predator. So you're either going to know your lane matchup, or you're going to know your carry matchup. So they see the Weaver Magnus offlane, almost certainly. I doubt it's a carry Weaver. I don't think you would pick carry Weaver against Lycan. It's like okay in lane, but doesn't feel particularly amazing later. Let's see. So you're against Weaver Mag.
10 seconds
AA,
remaining.
and you have an IO. What are we looking at?
5 seconds remaining.
I have my hero list pulled up.
What do you think? And we saw Sumail playing Jug. Is that an option? Having that kind of pseudo BKB type hero against AA?
Yeah, perhaps. Jug, out of all the healing heroes, doesn't particularly mind AA, but at the same time, you don't love playing against Weaver. The bugs can be really annoying. And it's not the best like Omni / target. I know it's only a support Weaver, but I guess the Bane is your laning partner. So,
Thunder
how does
Predators
IO
turn
Lycan
to
offlane
ban.
work? Is that a thing? I don't. Because Lycan usually likes to play by himself. Like
Sure.
you get the lane near your
yeah.
tower, and then the 4 just dips. Maybe that in that case, the Bane will be a 5 played in the offlane, sort of thing.
10 seconds
And I guess the other
remaining.
consideration, if it is an offlane Lycan, is there
Virtus
certain heroes with the
Pros
Wolf
turn
Bite
to
that you want to
ban.
prioritize? Like heroes that benefit from it more than others?
Yeah, there's so much to consider here. I haven't. The funny thing is, I saw Lycans in pubs, and I didn't really see much Wolf Bite during my pubs, so I didn't really see like what people were trying. And the Lycan
remaining.
Tiny is obviously the best option, but that's not. I doubt very many
Thunder
teams are going to get
Predators
that
turn to
moving
ban.
forward. You could just go Dusa, one of the
Yeah, I
better
was
heroes
wondering Dusa
against AA.
You don't want a Wolf Bite to do so, but
That's true.
it still doesn't mean it's a bad pick.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about the Wolf Bite.
Yeah.
Maybe
You could just go a
10
different build and not go
seconds
the Ags on
remaining.
Lycan. After
Yeah,
the
it could
helm.
just be a life stealer, one of the
Yeah.
better sustain heroes,
5
because the
seconds
infest
remaining.
you can ignore the anti heal from the AA.
Any consideration of a like Terrorblade? Is that because you can always sunder through the Ice Blast?
Yeah,
Pros
but I,
turn
wa-
to pick.
but I think
It
you're.
seems slow,
Are you
though.
melee during meta
You're
if you
not.
have
Meta
Wolf Bite?
it overrides the Wolf Bite.
Oh, because it sets your attack speed or
It's like an
your attack
aura
range.
type thing.
Yeah,
because it affects your illusions. So it's an aura that overrides the,
Okay,
the melee form.
Terrorblade could be really.
It
Huh.
doesn't. I mean, they
That
had the
sounds
greedy
scary.
Sven, but it does maybe for VP not. They usually like to play a bit more aggressive, and that's where
Thunder
Bloodseeker gets banned out.
Predators turn to pick.
And they go Medusa. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not aggressive. They're getting the
Yeah,
carry.
I think Medusa was the best option. It's not going to be an Ags Lycan. I don't think you have to buy Ags Lycan. People were picking Lycan prior to the Ags and just playing him as like Helm of the Overlord, drums, AC,
10 seconds remaining.
just pure buffs for the team.
Yep.
And Medusa likes that a lot.
5 seconds remaining.
You have a lot of space making from VP. I'd say all 3 of their cores are quite greedy, but Thunder Predator seems to play their own game and not really look to shut you
You may
down.
now select your heroes.
This is a really good PL game. It's good when he gets like 2 or 3 items, not before 2 or 3 items. So it's going to come down to how free of a game does DM have, because my worry for Thunder Predator's lineup is if Lycan gets like a 7-minute Helm Dom, I think they're losing their tier 2 bottom at like 13 minutes, which you might just be 5-man camping your triangle at that point.
Okay.
And the point of the mag is that you farm so fast that you can farm tons of camps, which you have to be able to go to the camps in order to farm them. That's my only concern. But the MNZ PL, he loves his hard carries. It is a great PL game moving forward. They only have single target damage other than the split shot, which isn't scary for PL because you have more than 5 illusions. So I'm going to lean towards Virtus.pro, but man, if Thunder Predator manages to hold them off just once or twice, kind of similar to like reverse of what we saw last game, I think they'll take it.
Okay. We'll see if they can get to that point, as we'll be heading into game number 2 fairly soon. All signs point towards a VP 2-0, but we'll see if Thunder Predator have anything to say about that. There's a time to put up a fight. You know, they got to start now. It's day 3 of the groups. They're running out of time.
They are indeed. But this is a pretty free PL game when he gets items.
Okay.
So it was not like that for Luna last game. You know, you were Luna against the Ancient Apparition, Necro. That's just really... There's no point in the game where you feel safe. You know, no matter how many items on Luna he were to get last game. But on this game, once he gets, I would say, Diffusal, Manta, Heart, Shard, he's a menace. Okay, let's see. So total number of player deaths by 10 minutes. Gotta do my predictions.
This doesn't look like a super high kill game in the early game, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's way too
the
high.
viewers not seeing. Don't worry, we got those. We're keeping those just for you, Brian.
Thank you. Most magic damage would be probably Storm Spirit.
At what time, or just total
25
game?
minutes. Maybe Void Spirit, but I'm going for Storm. How long will the game be? So if I think Virtus.pro is going to win, it's going to be less than 30 minutes, honestly. I think they'll just end it with like the first Aegis on Tusa. But if it's Thunder Predator who's going to win, it's going to be more like 37 to 44. So
in the middle?
No. It's not going to be in the middle.
That
was the whole point. It's not going to land in that window.
I could see VP winning in that 30 to 37 mark.
Okay.
Like for me, I think VP might win around that second rush.
Okay.
That would be my prediction.
Okay. We'll see how it plays out. That's what the predictions are for. Give us some talking points. And dude, these sprays, man. I love when people spray the players' faces or like some face on like a cliff.
Yeah.
It looks so weird.
And it gets completely distorted.
The RTZ face when it's like his nose is on a cliff. It looks so stupid. I imagine Save's going to own here.
Which taunt has that music?
That's the AA taunt.
And Bane has the cheese one. Oh.
Yes. Yeah, there's the
taunts with audio, definitely way more obnoxious than your everyday taunts when they have the audio cues. But save, yeah, level 1 Nightmare.
Used to be way more powerful. They added damage to Nightmare, so every second you're ticking for some damage. It was 15 damage per second when it came out, but now it's only 5. So it's much more about just the fact that you can hit them while they're Nightmared.
Yeah. Win all those traits, but plenty of regen for now in this top lane on at least on the Predator side, and I imagine on VPs as well. So yeah, Bane playing with lots of Sengo, so shouldn't be seeing anybody getting bullied out just yet. Over the mid lane, we've got the Storm versus Void Spirit. And down bottom, we've got Io playing with the Medusa against Magnus Weaver. Imagine a bit of a farm lane probably down here for both sides.
Yeah, Medusa just owns melee heroes, though. You always get the snake setup, as you just saw what Nightfall did there. Gets the 2 creep bounce onto the Magnus. It's such an efficient trading spell. Doesn't actually get the range creep there. A little late. But they are level 2 on the Io Medusa, while only level 1 on Mag and the Weaver, so they should feel pretty safe for now.
Yeah. Weaver did a nice job getting the D-Sentry so he can play you know, a bit more aggressively in this lane, but it's not necessarily going to swing things entirely as we'll see how some of these other lanes are going. Mid lane being slightly GPK Storm favored so far. Expected for you, or I mean, GPK amazing mid player, but as far as the hero matchup goes, how do you see this one?
Yeah,
going?
I think Storm just free farms against most melee heroes. I was under the impression Void Spirit pretty much goes even in every matchup where it's not like Huskar, you know, something that's meant to ruin your lane. Just because his CS, his animation is so good on Void Spirit, but the thing about the Void Spirit Storm Spirit matchup is that Void Spirit almost always goes Yules, and then you can just catch the Storm at any point, and you also get rid of the Orchids. So I'm going to be looking for some sick comeback plays because he is starting the lane behind, but once he gets the Yules with the AA, I'm pretty sure GPK will just die full to 0 to that combo.
And we saw last game, Leostyle as a mid laner wants to play that kind of high active, like let his off lane to get more farm, and he'll go around looking for those kills, playing around those rune and power spikes of like a Yule Scepter item timing. So imagine it's a hero that will suit his playstyle.
I'm not sure I like this Weaver pick this game, though. I did think Weaver was really strong coming into TI, but it's been demoted to almost exclusively support. And when I'm thinking about these mid matchups like Storm Void, they have really high kill threat on each other. And how does a Weaver, you know, play into that? I feel like as GPK, I'll feel really safe for a really long time, just because what could be an Earth Spirit or a Nyx from last game is just a Weaver.
It's being very pesky so far. Sniped a couple of couriers, I believe. And just constantly shakuching in and out, doing annoying things there. Does dodge that Mystic Snake, though.
You still get mana? No, you don't. Okay. I didn't know that. Because it looks like it hit him, but it doesn't do any damage, so I guess that means it also doesn't get any mana back.
And VP doing a good job down bottom. They keep getting these side pulls off, so it does feel like they are winning this bottom lane with these pulls, plus the Medusa free farming. They've caused a lot of problems for that Thunder Predator off lane. Really, all three lanes. You see the CS. They're the top 3 CS. Yeah. Top lane's even, but both mid and bottom being slightly won by VP.
Yeah, they did the same thing top. Save got the big camp pull, which allowed MNZ to farm in a big camp by himself, but it put the lane near the tier 1, and thus DM's just chilling near his tower by himself, getting solo XP on a Lycan, which is really important, and now Save's also helping in the mid lane. At the highest level nowadays, side lanes are pretty much all about pull camp manipulation. That's pretty much what it's boiled down to, because all the other factors, all the players are just so good at creep aggroing and CSing and all that kind of stuff. So you're seeing, yeah, once again pulling on the Medusa.
Oh, he got him with the night. He came back and walked into the Nightmare.
He has pull, I think.
Yep.
Yes, he does. That's death.
He thought that they'd stop chasing, but Save just kept on going after him and just got a Nightmare, and that was a easy kill. But GPK may pay the price. Has to TP out, but he's more than happy with that. Heads up play from him.
He did use his Remnant on the creep wave, so they should be able to get all these denies, which kind of sucks for him, having to TP out there, but small price to pay, and you get to kill the enemy mid. Oh, wow, okay, so Undying ended up winning quite a barn burner, 63-minute game on the other stream. So.
That was against Aster, right?
Against Alliance.
Oh, Alliance. Okay. All right. NA Dota showing up to TI so far. Well, 2 or 3 teams showing up. We'll see if Quincy can bounce back here on day 3. But back in mid lane, VP chasing down Leostyle. And as Thunder Predator getting bullied out of this mid lane. It's been really a tough lane for Leostyle. He's only just a little bit above level 5. Save is still zoning him. Storm's at level 6, so he can even rotate on over in a second.
He's not quite. He wasn't able to kill any creeps.
And he instantly balls in. Does ball into a Remnant, and he's still chasing, looking for more. And GPK with a big mana pull. He had full mana, I want to say, for that.
Calculated the Astral Step wasn't available yet.
Yeah.
So once he gets on top of him after the Dissimulate, no running from there.
Looking good indeed for Virtus.pro in this early game. 2 kills unanswered. Big CS wins in most lanes, but not massively. They haven't reached that 1K plus mark just yet, so this Thunder Predator not getting completely obliterated in these lanes.
I'm incredibly concerned, though, because the weakness of Mag as a hero is that you want to jungle a lot with whoever's on your team, which means your tower has to be considered. PL as a carrier, if you're losing as PL, it's because all your towers are just dead in like the first 10 minutes because your hero does virtually nothing to prevent it from happening. And we're now seeing the Helm Dom come out. This is a super early Helm Dom, the 7-minute Helm Dom that I was concerned about. I'm pretty sure 4 of Thunder Predator's towers are going to die in the next 10 minutes. And that's terrifying when you're against a Medusa, right? Because you're not going to see Nightfall on the map. He's going to be farming stacks galore. He's not pressured. It's the same thing as last game in reverse, where the Luna was able to occupy his lane much longer than the Sven. I think we're going to see PL get booted out while Medusa's going to do whatever he wants for the next 4 or 5 minutes. And that just doesn't bode well, since even the mid lane's going well. Because the top lane going poorly for Thunder Predator allowed Save to come help mid, which was ample to having the Void Spirit get caught behind his tower.
Yep.
So this has been, it's bleeding. They're bleeding in multiple lanes, even though it's only a less than 1K net worth lead. You're not seeing the effect of that just yet.
They start too soon if those towers drop, and they're already looking to force that with the Helm timing. They rotate Storm top, killer support. More than anything, they want to get this big bad PL. Yeah, this is MNZ trying to walk away. TP rotation coming in. It's just the moves Weaver here. GPK a little bit low, doesn't have any bottle charges, so he could be in some trouble. He has to ball back to safety. It does
they
look
can
like
thwart this.
Yeah, they have Astral Step, so it does look like TP are going to defend their tier 1.
Nice. That's really good. It's really important for them. Because if you die there on PL, like, you're going to be stuck in your triangle for the rest of the game. And it's so important that they don't get forced into their triangle, because you're never going to get out of it. Even though you're thinking like, oh, you have Empower, let's farm the Ancients. No, you want that to be as late as possible. You want to be farming your own jungle and then have one of your supports like stacking for you, and then eventually you give up top tower because it's a Lycan, and you go retreat to your Ancients. So you want to hold on to that tower as long as possible. Lycan ulti used. Storm had to go back to base. Really good job by Thunder Predator.
Fade coming once again. Save maybe not ready to be met by Thunder Predator with several heroes here. Making four heroes collapsing on the Save Bane. At this point, VP may just say, yeah, we can let him go. It's not worth it. Although GPK happy to go for some revenge kills, and he'll get one. Takes out the Weaver in return. Both teams losing their 4 position.
There's just... Yeah, you held top tower, but your mid is level 6 compared to the almost level 9 of the opponent mid.
And this mid is also being pushed. It's down below half health already just because the Storm's kind of cutting waves and constantly right-clicking it. So tier 1 top being pressured, tier 1 mid being pressured, and tier 1 bottom, Thunder Predator haven't really pressured at all.
Yeah, the thing is that last game we saw, as we see Save.
Oh, RPs, but
Baiting.
now Storm and Io show up. Io with the heal. The Centaur, he ravages 5 heroes. Yeah, pauses the game. As Save does end up going down the lands, but MNZ doesn't have any way to escape. GPK getting low on mana, but he's being helped out by the Io sustain. With the 1 charge, he's going to relocate him out. He wants this kill. Oh, he doesn't get it, but he does save the Storm, and he can probably come back and fight.
Yeah, they're not going to stick around. He's going to be full health, full mana.
Yeah, great Io play there. First, he keeps the Bane alive for a bit longer, allows GPK to clean up, and then he heals up GPK and gives him some mana with the 1 charges.
Yeah, and he also has TP available on Storm, so it's usually when Storm does that kind of play, you're able to capitalize on the opponent team because you just know he's stuck on one side of the map, but now he's full health, full mana with TP available, so you have to be constantly afraid wherever PL may go. You know, he's going to walk top, but you would hope that since you died to the Storm bottom, that you've got at least like 45 seconds to go farm, but you don't feel safe at any point. Already 4K in favor of VP. This got out of hand real quick. As you know, the writing was on the wall once the Lycan got the Helm Dom.
Yeah. And he only took the 1 tower with it, but it was just complete map dominance. Now they're just going from 1 kill to the next. As GPK is going to finish off Frank. No fear because there's no RP. Kind of wants to get Moo as well, who gets brought down pretty low. And Leo Style showing up here. GPK may just have to leave his Io, but he may just have to find an escape plan for himself because
he has the pick pole.
Yeah.
He's not using it.
Not sure if he wants to just yet. He wants to use up all his mana first. Now he's out of mana. Does he pick pole away?
Pick pole.
Maybe he forgot he had it.
It's just for style points.
And space created. He just got his team at tier 1 mid tower, and it goes the way of Nightfall's Medusa, who is 3rd on net worth, but it's his 2 teammates who are ahead of it.
Yeah, when you're a Medusa and you get to rotate between triangle and like killing a mid tower, that's just the dream farming pattern for you. As top 3 net worths go to VP. It is gone from a virtually even net worth game 4 minutes ago to a 6K net worth lead. That is a disaster.
Yeah, your sub 30 predictions looking pretty good right now, but let's see if Thunder Predator have some fight in them. The fans believe, they're cheering. They're hoping Thunder Predator can turn this one around. South American Dota fans are, I think it's, what, pretty late at night there or early in the morning?
It's all how you look at it, you know?
Stupendous.
It's, what, like 4 a.m., so that's either super late or super early, depending if you're up still.
It's gamer hours.
Indeed. I think for most people, they would consider that late.
Yeah. I think 5 a.m. is when it starts getting early morning, but 4 a.m. is...
Nah, for someone like Jenkins,
area.
that's even later at night. Jenkins is a 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. sleeping schedule. Very normal for streamers.
Yep.
But not normal at all. As NJZ.
He goes for the grip, but he gets pulled. The Aether Remnant going to stop that one, but I think VP is still going to have the edge here. They go looking for initiation.
Nice
He
RP.
doesn't manage to dodge the RP. Frank does a good job fake canceling it, but unfortunately GPK has just been kept alive by the IO.
I feel like
And they go from one kill to the next, and yeah, this IO plus Storm, not your everyday synergy. He's got an Arcane Ring. That's a big part of that. I think it was his Arcane Ring that really boosted him up there.
I think that's an extra 200 mana when he uses it, something like that, for Storm, right? Because he gives himself 75,
Plus,
which is amp. It's about 160.
yeah, because it's only 1.1 amp right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have level 4 tether. But it will be about 200 once he has max tether.
Yeah, that's just so much mana at this stage in the game. As we see here once again, they're kind of just getting steamrolled, already down by 7K before this fight. You see the RP really well placed, but PL not a carry like Jug, for instance, that's down to participate in fights at 12 minutes into the game.
Well, GPK putting on a show. Beyond Godlike at 13 minutes. I don't know what the TI record is. I think there has been faster, but that is got to be like top 5, top 10 as far as Beyond Godlike streaks go.
Yeah, absolutely. Still didn't use the pig pull though, so not really.
disappointing.
Yeah, the style points are not there. 9 kills ahead, 9K ahead.
It's not the best Storm. The stats is nice, but it costs mana to use it. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
problem. When he used all his mana bottom, he's like, you can't pig pull away because he's out of mana.
Yeah, but if you think about your ball lightning, if you're retreating, is using it to run away faster, right? You're using mana to run away faster. I feel like the mana per distance traveled on pig pull would be better.
So you're going to zip, when you're running, you zip so that you have exactly 50 mana left and then pop the pig pull.
Yes. I think MNZ would have died there if he didn't just AFK his regular hero. That was kind of a cool play. He finished Asians, and then his main hero just sat there. He purposely sat there for like 6 seconds, and GPK just didn't go on him. That was pretty next level, pretty 5-head play there.
He's being called by the Orca now.
Who's catching who?
GPK out of money, needs the IO. IO is back at base. He's not in the neighborhood, and GPK is gonna not be kept alive.
This is
Kingslayer.
classic VP.
Yep. Oh,
Okay, not
classic VP stomp, perhaps.
Yeah, no, just we saw them several times this tournament so far be incredibly far ahead and then just randomly feed in the opponent triangle. But this time around, I really like Nightfall, leaving his precious triangle to invade the opponent triangle so early on in the game based on how far ahead they are. And even though GPK lost his Beyond Godlike streak, they end up getting, what, 3-for-1, 4-for-1?
Save busting out the PPD lines.
It does feel good to be that good.
He's definitely his team and the way they're playing. They're looking that good.
Thunder Predator. Feel for him.
Yeah, nobody, it's, we'll meme and have a laugh when teams obviously, well, not us, but like viewers, but for a team to just not be able to find that first win, it's demoralizing. And you hate to see it for a team that did do so well at that first major, but hasn't been able to make things click since then.
Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon. When you lose on heroes, you notice like trends between what's happening. And when you're PL, oftentimes when you're losing, it's your other cores that just, you're like, what happened to my mid laner? Why did he lose? And it's just because your laning stage is really weak that the off laner can be left alone much earlier. And so this is just a symptom of the PL pick that I was concerned about when I saw it in the draft, is that you're seeing the PL pick reflected in Leo Styles' net worth. He has Treads Orchid on Storm before Brown Boots Yules on the Void Spirit, and thus leading to GPK just getting a solo kill on him.
Storm.
Because save came in so early.
He made a pit stop for the rune as he went
Pit
diving
stop.
in.
Yeah. I'm saying like it's convenient pit stop, I guess you could say.
It was funny because like Weaver's Nightmare, I'm like, hey, Storm's gonna follow this up, and he zips to the rune, then he zips to the Weaver.
Yeah, the Arcane Rune effectively makes it more efficient probably for him to spend the mana to get the rune first.
Yeah, but you're kind of saying, yeah, this PL pick, while it is the perfect PL game, has made this laning stage so weak for Thunder Predator, and they are just getting rolled over. A much more kind of common sight for these VP games where they are so dominant in these early games and just love to play this kind of high tempo style.
You just can't skip certain stages of the game. You have to account for 0 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10. And honestly, the PL pick, I think, skipped the first 7 minutes of the game. Because you saw what happened. Save really good at acknowledging, I'm just going to pull this big camp top and Leo Styles' game is now ruined because of it. So my MVP would honestly go to Save because he's the one that set up GPK to be so dominant here. When one mid is this far ahead of the other, it feels almost impossible to play any game of Dota.
Maybe.
Nice setup here.
Yeah, they bring the Orchid in. Almost like a reaction to Game 1. It feels like Thunder Predator were like, okay, Game 1 they gave us all this space and just sat back and farmed. They picked a Medusa. We can play greedy. It's a perfect PL game. We can do that because Game 1, that was their playstyle. But
yeah, they hustled him. They set him up for this.
Yeah. I mean, GPK this game has been a delight to watch. He just, any hero he sees, he's happy to dive in on. There's nothing that threatens to kill him. Maybe a little bit now with the Yule Scepter and Void Spirit, but with an Iron backing him up, it just feels like GPK can do whatever he wants. And yeah, he's got 3 minutes of Aegis timing left. So.
I also feel like they have to invest like 4 big abilities in order to kill him, like A, Blast, plus RP, and maybe PL loses half his HP to all the remnants and stuff going in, so... Even if they bring down GPK, I think it's going to be a similar story to what we saw at the Triangle, where the rest of the team ends up dying afterwards.
Yeah, right now it's a game of keep away, but VP smoked up. I believe, I mean, Dire Vision kind of had an idea of where Storm was. Not sure if they know the smoke is coming, but save D-warding. He may die, but his teammates are quickly headed his way. So Leo Style commits the Yules, which means he doesn't have it anymore, so he's going to get gone on by the Storm. Doesn't want to use it defensively, which totally makes sense. You've got to find some kills, but... Save even going to go down here. We're going to find out the PL chasing. He Nightmares one. He grips the other. He has a Brain Sap as well. Ice Blast coming in. That should finish him off, but he just set up 1 kill, maybe even 2. MNZ, nice juice. You mentioned he's a PL player. DM, the only one who wasn't fooled, and he'll get the TP out. Well played by MNZ, but
consolation prize there.
Yeah. It's not really gaining anything. It's just preventing VP from getting, you know, an extra huge kill that gets him further ahead.
Butterfly at 19 minutes for Nightfall. As he is 1-0-2 this game.
Oh.
Not again. He has no TP this time, though.
Yeah, and
so they know this.
Yeah, can he juke through these? His Quelling Blade's on cooldown, unfortunately.
He had Doppelganger, but if you doppel, then you reveal where you are. So
yeah. Hoping for a Quelling Blade cooldown so he could maybe like tuck himself in the trees or something.
Yeah, it just feels like there's nowhere to go. Not only at this stage, Bane effectively represents a kill on you. So Save's just running around on his own, even just farming mid right now. There's everywhere is danger for Thunder Predator.
Lycan's invaded the enemy jungle like alone. There's like 2 or 3 enemy heroes. He's like, I'm fine. They can't threaten me. Has gone for the drums you mentioned.
6 drum charges already. Whew. He's used a lot of them. He's almost got the AC. Oh god.
All kinds of bad. Does Illusion rune off the silence, and didn't have Yules, but nice job understanding they can still get out. But ultimately, these are very small things that Thunder Predator is doing right on an individual level, and this game has gone to shit for them.
I believe we are nearing the point where VP will feel comfortable to just walk down the lane.
Or just dive tier 3.
Well, they have to kill the mag, I think, in order to walk down the lane.
Style doesn't have a Yule Scepter. GPK's once in. He's going to succeed. He's only got 9 seconds left of this Aegis. He's like trying to die here. Yeah, I think he may just die to this tier 4. I was like, no, you're not dying, my friend. That wasn't the plan, but we'll see what happens here. They're in the enemy base, taking tier 3 towers here, and there's still 2 dead, so they should be fine. There's no mag skewer to worry about. They get the grip on Leo Style. He's going to go down, and this may just be GG. I mean, It's probably been GG for a while, but
Dire's middle barracks.
shame.
I've just lived this story too many times. I feel like that's all Dota is, right? Is narratives that each individual lineup will write. And when I'm playing PL, I'm like, man, am I going to lose all my buildings in the first 15 minutes of the game? And you look at VP's lineup, and if they get off to a good start, the answer is absolutely yes. And
Dire's ancient is
yeah, I need you guys to go ahead and end it, so my sub 30-minute prediction will be correct, VP.
We're backing off a little bit. Tipping Magnus like, what are you trying to blink? This one wolf is stopping him from blinking. And there we go. GG is called as they will finish the throne and VP smoothly sail their way to a 2-0 victory. Game 1 was a bit longer, but that was more, I think, game plan rather than, you know, VP doing worse in Game 1, although Thunder Predator looked better, I think.
Thunder Predator got off to a really good start in Game 1. And when you get off to a good start and you win 100% of the time, and then you get off to a good start and you feel shaky, that's usually the sign of the better team, at least the team that's more in their comfort zone. And for Thunder Predator, yeah, it's just a deep sigh as they are 0-10 now. I don't think they're mathematically out yet if they can manage to scrap together.
Yeah.
So
there's teams with like only 2 or 3 wins, so they have 6 games left. Definitely not mathematically out.
It's like if you're them, what do you take away from this series exactly? You know, because I feel like the first game you had everything that you needed. You were set up perfectly. You had a decent lineup. Like your lineup is fine scaling into the late game. You're up by 5K. And then you just get outmaneuvered, and that just feels so awful.
Yeah. I always feel like these teams who are underdogs and, like, you know, just, I think at this point you can say objectively the weaker teams, they shouldn't be playing these slower-paced late-game drafts. They need to pick strong lanes.
Yeah.
Like, everything starts with the lane phase. Like, if you lose the lane phase, you've 100% lost if you're the weaker team.
Yeah, but it's like if you win the lanes, right, you get off to this lead, and then you just get outsmoked, like like maneuvered on the map. That just feels so awful too.
They want to try it, but for their future games, they would much rather, they want to see
They'd rather see the first game.
Yeah, because if game 1 happens and they're maybe not playing VP, they're playing a team who doesn't make those really good smoke moves, they maybe get a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the takeaway is let's play and draft like we did in game 1. Yeah, we lost, but hope that
I agree with you.
We can find a way to make it work.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, going forward, just VP now 7-5. They're back up on the above 50%. I believe they will be tied with EG if they lose.
Okay.
If EG loses.
EG and OG is going now. I can see it up on one of our little side screens.
So good for them there.
We'll see how that one goes. You guys check out all the other streams. We're done here. We'll be back on later today for some more games. I think we'll be casting Secret Quincy. That should be good, as well as plenty of other Dota games. This is a day where, you know, teams start to get separated. Probably quite a number of teams will qualify for either the upper or lower bracket today. And then tomorrow, obviously, we'll finalize the last spot. So stick around. We'll have new casters, and we'll see you guys later.
See you, nerds.